Today's my birthday. I just turned 32. I'm doing this video for everyone out there who is maybe struggling with their IVF journey. I'm doing this video for myself to remind me what I went through the last 2 years and how far I came. I'm doing this for the future me, who hopefully one day will have her dreams come through, and when I'll look back at this video, I'm gonna look at it nostalgically. I'm gonna look at it like an old version of me. 2 years ago today, I opened an Instagram account. It was locked down. I found it useful for me to be part of a community. I'm just gonna bring up my second post actually. So it turns out I'm 30 today. My husband gave me the sweetest kiss this morning and said, just wanted to see how he's kissing an old lady. He's always like that. Well, today is no different from yesterday. This morning, whilst drinking my coffee, my thoughts did wander back to my 20s. I think one of the most interesting decades in anyone's life. You go in it as a kid and you come out of it on the other side as an adult. Crazy. I had so many plans for this decade, and whilst many have happened, a lot of them also didn't. But that's okay, since my plans constantly changed. There are things I planned for that haven't happened, but that's also okay, because I am just 30. So plenty of time ahead of me. I remember 2019 December, I panicked that I will turn 30 in April, and I missed getting pregnant and having a baby. I always thought it will happen before my 30, and then I remembered I will only turn 29, so plenty of time. I have to say, still no baby or pregnancy, but working on it. My husband does enjoy this period. Anywho, here we are, I am 30 from today onwards, and my plans for the day is celebrating my birthday in quarantine. Put out my comfiest loungewear, paint half of my door yellow, water my plants, paint some eggs ready for Easter, sit in the sun and get all the D vitamins, make some brownies, snuggle with my cats, have some beer with my husband, have another go at that baby thing. Or I might just end up being lazy on the sofa all day. The joys of being an adult and taking your own decisions. That summarizes, to be fair, where I was 2 years ago. But it sort of summarizes where I am today. I am 32 and there's still no baby, and we are still trying. Was it a struggle these 2 years? I don't know. One thing I could say, it went by very quickly. You know, deep down, yes, I am struggling with that feeling. The reason I'm struggling with that feeling, it's probably also because of the pressures from sort of outside. There's been a lot of pressure from my family and friends. As soon as you marry, straight away they ask you, when are the kids coming? It's also a cultural thing where I come from, and I know it comes from a right place, from their heart, but it doesn't make it any easier when every time they see you, they expect you to be pregnant, or anytime you potentially book a nice restaurant to take maybe your family out, and they straight away think, oh, there's some sort of news. Anything we've been doing, they constantly thought, this is the time that we're gonna tell them that I am pregnant. And that puts pressure on you. Family members started having kids and it was bringing so much joy. But again, that constant question of, well, when are you doing it? Or you are next now. Friends similarly just, asking what our plans are and why it's not happening. Then there's pressure from society. I am in a senior position at my company. The past 4 years, I felt like they are looking at me like a ticking, I don't know, baby making bomb or something. They started asking, well, what are your plans? Or if you would go to interviews, the same. They would ask you, do you have kids? Do you plan having kids? Of course I'm planning to have kids. I wasn't telling them that though. I don't think we are there yet. Definitely not in UK. I think they would think twice if they know that you're planning to get pregnant. I remember one of my old boss constantly, probably every 3 months, would ask the question or would hint, trying to figure out, are you planning to get pregnant? Again, it's a lot of pressure. There's also indirect pressure from social media. I use Facebook to just see what my, old classmates, friends, what my families are doing. So I don't have many family in this country, so I use social media a lot to just to see what's going on with them and how is their life. We are probably in that age group where genuinely I feel like every day there's a newborn baby. Again, there is that pressure, and there's also the pressure you put on yourself. You think about your age. I'm 32. When am I gonna be too old to get pregnant? The IVF itself in UK, I don't think they offer after 40. Not funded by the NHS here. Again, there's that pressure, the time pressure of your body clock. And then there's the pressure you put on yourself. Why is it not happening? Should it happen? I'm not feeling like having babies. Am I gonna be too old when I'm gonna feel like having babies? Am I ready for it? And when you say, am I ready for it, then you also think of all the comments or friends who were sort of trying to help with what we were going through, and they would say, the body knows when you're ready to have a baby. Again, it comes from the right place, I'm sure, in their heart, but it really does not help. How does it help me, that comment? Straight away my mind goes, is it my fault? Am I not ready? Typical comments I would get whilst trying and trying and trying and being open about it. To be fair, I have told my family, my friends, we are trying, and they would come with some ridiculous comments sometimes, like have some warm bath, go have a vacation. Are you working too much? Are you stressed too much? Are you even ready to have a baby? Are you having sex enough? It's just mind-blowing why people think that's okay to say those things. I don't know how I would be. If I'm honest, I have not had friends or family who have spoken to me about going through a difficult time on conceiving. I don't know personally what I would say, but now that I'm in it and I know how it makes me feel, I know what not to say. If there's anyone out there who's watching this because their friends or their family member going through this, please stop trying to be helpful. I think the best thing is just to listen. Try not to give advice if it's not something that you've gone through. But even if it's something you've gone through, everyone takes it differently. If I talk to you a little bit about how I've been trying to cope with all this pressure around me, one of my main strengths is staying positive. I've always seen the world in a positive way, so it's easy for me to say that. But it's also things that I do to stay positive. For example, I just absolutely love driving to work with loud, upbeat, I don't mean happy song, but I meaning sort of like strong beat song, and it would put me in a mood straight away that I can conquer the world. Or staying positive by looking at the sun outside, just seeing the little things, trees outside flowering, just literally seeing the sunshine and the blue sky. And it's not that much in UK, but finding those moments and grabbing it with two hands, I think it's so important. And whatever makes you happy, if it's, you know, eating healthy or working out or seeing friends and family more often, whatever it is that allows you to stay as positive as you can be, is the best coping mechanism I can advise to anyone out there. Personally, I also talked a lot about it. As soon as we've seen that we are struggling to conceive, I've been very open about it. I've been open to friends, family, strangers, some of the work colleagues that I've really trusted. I've been open about telling them that just not happening. I've been open about telling them we've seen a doctor, that IVF is starting, that I have polycystic ovary syndrome. I've been as open as I could be with anyone out there and making it normal. I think that was such a key part of how I've been coping with this situation. Before you know it, there are so many out there. Almost anyone I would have mentioned, they had at least one or two examples that they have been aware of, or that they have gone through it. It's just amazing, and it's a shame that people don't talk about it, which is probably also why I'm doing these videos. I'm keen to share my experience because I know there's millions of similar experiences out there, and I want to share this with the world so whoever is watching it can look and think, it's not just me, because that's how I felt when I started talking about it. It's not just me, it's many. The other thing with me is accepting my destiny, or whatever you want to call it, basically accepting my life. I've constantly tried to get to know myself the best I can, to be my own best friend, to try to have as fewer negative feelings as I can. I'm a strong believer that life gives you what you can take, and I know I can take this. If you can do anything about accepting where you are in life, accepting that actually you can do it, you can cope with this, then I think your journey will be much easier. I chose to do this video without having makeup on because one of the elements that I actually really struggled with is the insecurity and anxiety that I get due to what you can see here, breakouts. Up to about 20 years old, I have not had breakouts. My face was always nice and clean. I didn't have to cover spots. So when I started having them, I really struggled. I did not know where it's coming from, why it's happening, and what am I supposed to do with it? Especially when you're at work. I go to meetings and there are like 50, 60-year-old men. So I struggle when I turn up and I know I have these spots. I know they think I'm young for the job. I just feel really, really insecure. And it comes and goes. I have good periods, but I also have really bad periods. It's just another thing that I need to learn to cope and try to make it better if I can. Luckily, I've been using some really good products, just some oil and face cream from a company who's recycling coffee beans and apricot seeds and stuff like that. And it's really, really been good to my skin, just using the minimal that I need to use. I still have breakouts and I'm learning to love my breakouts. I'm putting myself out there with breakouts. I'm trying to accept and to love myself. I'm also trying to accept that I can't conceive naturally. I have to believe that this is not my fault. I have to believe that this is just meant to be like this. That's the only way I can see myself coping with this situation. Is the only way that I can see how I can still be a loving person, that I can still be happy for my friends having babies, for my brothers having growing families, for kids out there on social media, in person, wherever. You know what, the one thing that I learned these 2 years is to still be happy for people who maybe have it easier, but easier on this journey. Who knows what else is happening in their life. I cannot not be happy for people I love, but also for people I don't know. Ultimately, it's nobody's fault that I can't have kids naturally. If it's meant to be, it's gonna be. And if it's not meant to be, then we'll figure it out. Ultimately, I have my husband. We are genuinely happy, and that's all that really matters right now. I hope those points that I have shared with you on how I cope with the situation will help you. But if there's anything you want to share, put it in a comment please, and let's talk about it. Thank you very much for watching today, and I'll see you next time. But finding those moments and grabbing it with two hands. But finding those moments and grabbing it with two hands. But finding those moments and grabbing it with two hands. It's my birthday today. Today is my birthday.